Me again here this morning. Want to shoot another quick video just to keep my momentum going here. Uh, just trying to think of topics I could actually cover with you, and I thought probably one of the easiest topics I could cover right away would be to walk through the top menu on your editor, in your Convertri editor, and just explain everything in case somebody has any questions on all the different options up there. So we'll start there, and who knows where it goes. But I'm going to try to keep sending out some of these videos just to kind of help everybody out. And if you have any questions or you have any topics you'd like me to cover, please put it down in the comments or PM me, and we'll go from there. Um, the page I'm going to be looking at, some of you have actually seen. Um, this is a client I have. My internet's loading really slow this morning, so I apologize. So we'll have to see how effective this video is. But these menus were done actually with using a separate page and then iframing them in, because these were all done before the header footer, the awesome header footer option that recently was released. But I may go back and actually use some of the header footer things on some of my older sites. This one probably not, because it's a little bit more sophisticated, but it uses layers and everything else. So let's walk over to my editor on this page. And like I said, let's go through this top options here so you can actually see what I got going on. Obviously, undo, redo, great features to have. I use them often. Let's go to page. Visual styling is the first option here. This allows some type of background color. I typically, most of the time, actually have it on white, um, unless unless there's something specific for the site, like a black site or something. All the options across the top. The Favicon, a lot of people skip this, and this is one of my pet peeves when I see a site that doesn't have a favicon. And what I'm talking about by favicon, uh, if I select my image here, I hit a copy, and then I go over to another web page, you can see the favicon is just a little baby emblem that's going to appear in your tab beside the name of the. I don't have my tabs in the view here, but well, let me bring them down here. So you can see right here the tab. This favicon is part of my page. I think that makes it look really professional whenever you do that. So, and then the other one's powered by Convertri. If you're doing your own sites, I'd recommend you leave it showing. That way somebody would click on it and buy Convertri, and you get the affiliate money. But on client sites, a lot of them don't want it, so I click on Don't Show here. Default text styles. I think this is important because as you're building the page, you need to understand what your defaults should be. So pick a font family, text color. This would be whether it's normal or bold. So font size and then your default spacing. And a lot of you I see complain about the text being too big on mobile. Whenever you go over there, you have to edit everything. Right here is where you can actually fix that. So if you don't like 150, you can make your default something less, 120 or 100 or whatever it may be. So that's an area. And then this is for your main paragraph. And then for your H1, H2, and hyperlinks, you can change the default text. Headers and footers, this is brand new, and if you haven't seen my tutorial on the new header footer, I'd suggest you go do it, and if you can't find it in the Facebook group, go to jimtips.com. I actually haven't got it loaded in there yet, but that's one of the goals today, is to get all these new videos I'm popping into the Jim Tips membership site, so it's easy for you guys to find. So, and one of the users was nice enough to tell me that he went over to jimtips.com and he got a dangerous website message. So I did share that with Andrew, and it comes up with me, for me, fine. I think it's in Norton's dangerous site. So evidently before I bought the domain last year, it must have had some malware on it or something, the domain. and whenever they let it go, I did a search on the domain history, and it's like 12 years old. So there may have been some bad stuff on it before, but I guarantee if you go to timjimtips.com, it's safe now. It's all hosted on Convertri, and there's nothing that could be bad on it. So, but yeah, go see that header footer demo. I think you'll like that. But yeah, on this page, if you build a header or footer, you'd actually click choose to use it, or in on this. You got to do that on every page. Meta info. This is a very important page. If you're building something private, these robots here, no index, no follow, I usually click on those. They have something uh, internal that I want to just put up a page so everybody's got a link. If you do that, they won't be indexed by Google. But I highly suggest, and it looks like I haven't done it here, for keywords. I got to put in some keywords there. But put the page title site, and from an SEO standpoint, I would recommend putting in something that you think, right here they were competing with the perfect workout, so I actually put their page title as perfect workout for you. And then a brief descriptions, again thinking SEO standpoint, all the things that, some keywords in there that you think that might work, and then obviously putting keywords, which shame on me, I didn't put any in here yet, but I will go back and do that now. Social settings. Many of you are, I've seen some questions in Facebook about, how do I establish my image for social? Like if I post the link in Facebook, what image is going to be shown? This is where you put that image. So if I do a Control C, go to a new page, you can see this is the image. Again, my internet is really slow today. I'm not sure why. I may have to reboot everything. I may have something going on here. But this is the image that actually pops up on Facebook. If you put in informfitness.com and then the image, automatic image pops up, that's what pops up. And this is where you put that image. I recommend using the 1200 by 628 size. That's like a Facebook ad, medium ad size. I recommend that. And then if you have all your social media stuff in here, pop that in there, because that's going to help your SEO standpoint too. Custom scripts. If you've seen my membership tutorial video, you see this is where I go to put in the Product Dyno script to protect the pages for membership. But this is also where you might put your, let me see, you want to put your like Facebook pixel code, so you can do, when you do Facebook ads, the site knows who's been visiting your pages, and you can actually retarget people. This would be also probably a place where you would put your Google Analytics code, and for that, so you could put it in your body or your header. This is account wide, domain wide, and funnel wide, so you can actually put scripts across all your pages in your domain, or everything in your account or everything in your funnel here. But you will have to, if you add it in here, you'd have to publish every page again just to make sure that it's added to it. But scripts is definitely a page, an area that I go to quite a bit. Custom styles. I have to confess, I'm not a developer, and there's not too many styling things I do here at the CSS. I know we have some talented people in this group, so if you ever want to do some workarounds and some cool stuff with CSS styling codes, I'm sure you can find it in our group. And then other. This is where you can click on and off an exit message. I think the browsers are actually set up now where they don't use these, or you can't really see the message. I don't use the exit message very often. If I do, I do it as a trigger with a layer or something. And then this navigate within iframe. This is important. Again, if you watch my Product Dyno tutorial with Convertri, this is something you have to click on. And what that means is the web page at the top would never change. It's gonna be, every page you go to will be within the same iframe, and that's important on Product Dyno if you're trying to protect things. So, But that pretty much covers everything on the page side, so hopefully that helps. Actions, triggers, and behaviors. This is where if you're assigning something uh, to appear, disappear, you have hidden elements, um, you have rollover features, you have click features. All these actions are um, where you would find it in the actions. This is, I think, everything on my page. So you see this just as an example. This down here, this bar to get his ebook. This appears. Let me see if I can find it. I don't know exactly. This has been a website that's pretty complex. Oh, sticky footer here. You can see that if you click on the event type is a time. So after 60 seconds, what happens? I have a sticky. Let me see. I fade in the target. I'm going to show what? The target is called layer sticky footer. And that layer sticky footer basically is that sticky footer here. So after a person's on the page for 60 seconds, this appears. So they can also, they can get this book right here. But I also, if they're on here for a while, maybe they watch a few videos and everything, after they get done, this appears, it pops up here. For a while I had it as a exit menu too, so if I got ready to leave, I had a layer pop up here. Don't forget to sign up for our book. In fact, if you click on this here, this, again, my book usually loads here. Oh, there it is. But you actually get a pop-up sign-up form. If you sign in here and say get it now, then it takes you right to the Amazon PDF form. So that's what this actions are, and they used to be up here. Triggers and actions used to be up here in the main menu, and they moved it down to each element. So these are all your page actions. And if I click on a specific button, and I click on actions, actions in for that specific button. So there's nothing on the specific button, no actions, the ones you saw earlier. So if you're setting up your site, that's where you, instead of going up here, these are your page actions, where this is your element actions, if that makes sense. Layers. These are important if you're building layers. In this particular case, let me see, sticky header. You can see this is my header with all my menu options. If I click on the visible, it makes it visible. So if I want to create a new layer, this is where I would do it. I can have a layer start hidden and then visible. Some of these are mobile layers, some of these are desktop layers. So these are not visible on desktop, where this one is. So let me click that. That's a pop-up just for mobile. I'm not sure what that is, but layers are cool. Maybe that layers probably could have a dedicated video just to layers. So forms, here's where you would tie in your autoresponders. I'm not sure why my autoresponder is not showing. I am tied into I do have everything tied into get response. So if you did sign up on any of this stuff, let me see, if I say try us free, it goes over to my try us free page. And this has a sign up form, and it's tied into get response. So maybe that's where I have that's the page I have my form on, my get response form. But once you do the API for your autoresponder, like go in here, do my autoresponder, then it would show my list on that autoresponder, right? And then I could tie that form and build forms on my page. Webinars, um, here's where if you've got a account with one of the other big webinar companies, you can go through here and tie those. Email, these are if I don't have an autoresponder and I just have a page and I just want email the leads to come to me, this is where you would set it up. Thank you page URL. It is not showing up because I have to have a autoresponder or webinar set up. In HTML forms, it's another way you can attach a form and use it on your page. Products, can't get into this too much. I don't use a lot of e-commerce yet, but I will be getting into it. So here's where you set up all your stuff for e-commerce. Checkout. You can see I don't have any, this is not a e-commerce page, so it's not going to have any of this stuff, but you set up all your information here. Save and close, I guess. Fonts, here is if you don't see a font that you like that's already available, you can go out here and import from Google Fonts and add some additional fonts. This is where you would add it. And then you can go back to your styling page, go back over to the page, and go to default text. Once you've added your font, you go up here and it'll be available now. It'll be on this drop down list, so you can actually pick a different font if you want to actually do it. So what else? Display. This is where you can, if you can't find an element, you click on element outlines and it outlines every element on the page. This is good if you're trying to find something and you can't find it. This adjusts these width of your guidelines. I usually leave that as a default. Snap to elements. This is nice if you're trying to center things and it snaps to the edges of elements around it. If you have a hard time and snapping to the wrong thing, you can always come up here and shut this off. What else? Grid. If you want more lines to line things up, feel free to click on the grids, and that adds additional lines in between your width. And then help. This is obviously a great tutorial section for Convertri. So, and then preview, save and publish. Preview just allows you to see it before you actually publish it and look at it. Save is not a bad idea along the way. Keep saving. I usually, if I'm making major changes, a lot of times I'll clone the page and make all the major changes. And then once it's done, then I'll unpublish the main page and republish the clone page just to be safe. I don't change anything too drastically. I'm a little conservative there. I've gotten burned a few times. So you don't have to save. If you publish, you don't necessarily have to save, because I think the publish, what it does is it saves it first and then publishes. I used to do both. If you're extra paranoid, you could do that. But so that's kind of a quick overview of everything that I could see in the top menu of Convertri. And if you close it and you made some changes, it'll warn you, hey, you're making it, you haven't saved anything. If you did mean to save it, make sure you save it. Let's just look at mobile real quick, see if there's anything on mobile that this top page, pretty much everything is the same. Remobilize is obviously an item. You click and it would remobilize everything on the page. Actually, they give you a couple options now. You can remobilize all, remobilize a page, or a layer. In this case, I don't have a layer open, so it's not giving me that option. What else do you need to know? You probably know by now you can't make changes to like anything on here. I can't change anything in my mobile editor. I've got to go back over to the desktop editor. A little trick on mobile, if you need something to do something differently on desktop than it does mobile, what I usually do is I'll go back over to desktop and say I want to do something different with this. So I'd click on it, I'd clone it, right? Say I got a clone. And on this one, I'll go back up here. I'm going to say it's not viewable on mobile. And I say this one is not viewable on desktop. So now I go over there. I've got something completely different on desktop. Say you want a link on something on mobile that you don't want it on, then I would create something completely different on mobile and desktop. And then when I go over to mobile, you'll see this is the one I just cloned for mobile. And this is completely different than the one over there on desktop. You see it's not, this one's not visible on desktop. So yeah, I think that's good enough. It's actually a longer video than I want. It's 20 minutes, so we'll keep it that. And I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll keep trying to make some of these, stick them in the Facebook group as possible, and then also stick them in jimtips.com. So feel free to go over there, log in, get a free account, and there'll be more to come from that site. And I guess, like I said, if you would happen to get that it's a dangerous site, I can tell you that it's not. It's hosted on Convertri, and I'm going to try to figure out how to get that off of the Norton dangerous site list. I don't know how I do that because it's must have been some of the previous history. But I will see you on the next video. I hope you're having a good day and staying safe out there in this crazy world of the coronavirus. And more videos to come. Take care, guys.